One of the biggest stories of the 2025 college football season is about Ole Miss quarterback Trindad Chambliss. As of the recording of this video, Ole Miss ranks as one of the top teams ahead of their game against Oklahoma. While people did think Ole Miss was going to be a good team, the quarterback that was thought to be the one leading the charge was former highly touted recruit Austin Simmons, not Trindad Chambliss, the former Division II quarterback. In today's video, I am going to be talking about the Trindad Chambliss story. Trindad would play both football and basketball at Forest Hills Northern High School in Michigan. While one may think that Trindad's best sport in high school was football based on how he is playing today, the reality was, when he was in high school, people thought he was actually going to be a college basketball player. Instead, he was actually very talented in both sports. However, before his junior season is when he would become his high school starting quarterback, and he would wind up flourishing at the position at Forest Hills Northern High School. His high school coach said he had a natural throwing motion and easy mechanics, but his best trait was his vision to anticipate plays that others couldn't see. Those in the Forest Hills Northern program believed that Trindad was a D1 level quarterback. But the fact was, he had really no offers or no interest or looks from said D1 teams. His recruitment was affected heavily by the pandemic, being a 2021 graduate. A lot of the camps were shut down. College football teams would have super seniors on their roster, using the extra year of eligibility granted to them. And Trindad also only stood at 6 foot, 170 pounds as a senior, which was seen not only as a small point guard, but also a small quarterback. It is also worth noting, when camps were going on before the pandemic, it was when Trindad was more committed to basketball. So it wasn't even the sport that his high school coaches thought he would thrive playing in college, football. The bulk of offers and interest that Trindad had coming out of high school were primarily from D3s and JUCO programs. However, one D2 powerhouse would give Trindad a 25% scholarship: Ferris State. Trindad's first couple seasons at Ferris State, he would not play in any games in either the 2021 or 2022 seasons, as it was a big focus point to develop him more as a quarterback, but also put some more size on him. By the time that he was a redshirt sophomore in 2023, he would see the field as a backup quarterback, appearing in 8 games, where he threw for 354 yards, completing nearly 64% of his passes, 5 touchdowns in the air, with 305 yards on the ground, and 4 rushing touchdowns. Going into the 2024 season, Trindad would compete for the starting job and ultimately would win it. His first start of the season would be against fellow D2 power Pitt State. In his first start of the season, Trindad struggled. He went 13 of 20 for passing, with 133 passing yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Ferris State would end up losing this game 3-19, and the offense finished with 171 yards. While the start of the season went about as wrong as it could have for Trindad, after that day he became one of the best players in the nation. Ferris State wouldn't lose another game for the rest of the season, finishing with a 14-1 record and a national title. Trindad bursted on the scene, throwing for 2,925 yards, with 26 touchdowns in the air compared to only 6 interceptions, while also being an elite dual threat on that level with 1,019 rushing yards and 25 rushing touchdowns for the season. During the D2 playoffs, Ferris State outscored opponents 216-76. After a strong 2024 campaign, Trindad would have several D1 FBS programs encouraging him to enter the portal. But Trindad did not want to leave Ferris State at that moment, so he stayed through to the spring. Ultimately, with just a season of eligibility remaining, Trindad would wind up entering the transfer portal as a spring transfer and was one of the most touted spring transfer portal quarterbacks for the cycle. The decision of his transfer was supported by the Ferris State coaching staff, and all of a sudden the former unranked quarterback with minimal looks was going to have a chance to play Power 4 college football. Chambliss was noticed by the Ole Miss coaching staff early on and was a big priority to be brought in and compete for the starting job along with Austin Simmons. And the process was a quick one, as Trindad would commit to Ole Miss just 5 days into the portal. Going into the 2025 season, Trindad would compete for the starting job alongside Austin Simmons. Ultimately, Simmons would win the job as he had a good camp, more familiarity with the playbook, and was seen as the next quarterback after Jackson Dart by the majority of people. To start the season, Chambliss was quarterback 2, and would play very sparingly, being used primarily in running packages. When Austin Simmons ultimately got injured and struggled in the game versus Kentucky, Ole Miss would turn to the former D2 national champion ahead of their game versus Arkansas. In his first start for Ole Miss, Trindad went 21 of 29, with 353 passing yards in the air, 62 rushing yards on the ground, and 3 total touchdowns in the game. Ole Miss would defeat Arkansas 41-35. Since then, Trindad has remained the starter, where he has now thrown for 1,549 yards, completing 63% of his passes, with 8 touchdowns in the air compared to only 1 interception. He's also rushed for a total of 323 yards on the ground, with 5 rushing touchdowns. And for any of my QBR fans out there, he ranks number 8 as of the recording of this video. So yes, Trindad Chambliss is playing at a very high level for one of the best teams in the nation, while also playing at a very highly efficient and effective level, truly proving that he may just be one of the best in the nation. Ole Miss is now 6-1, with a probable top 10 ranking in the nation ahead of their game with Oklahoma. It's worth noting I am recording this before the AP poll comes out. A win could see the Rebels' playoff resume improve with a ranked SEC road win, and it would likely be the last ranked team they play all season. The rest of their schedule after Oklahoma is very favorable. The season is still young, but if Trindad and Ole Miss keep it rolling like they have been all season long, we could see history in the making. Not only Ole Miss going to their first ever college football playoff, but a former Division II quarterback leading his team into said college football playoff, showing that the real players shine no matter where they come from.